All right, let's make sure everything's working. All right, let's make sure. All right, audio is good. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin. Welcome to part 4 of the Madden 25 Dallas Cowboys franchise. This is going to be a video where, based on the title that you can see, we are in the off-season of the first year of this franchise, so probably no gameplay during this live stream. And this may be a little bit of a shorter one because it doesn't really take too long to get through the off-season in Madden's. So this one may be less than an hour. I don't really know. But we're going to be doing the off-season. We've got some work to do. At the end of the last live stream, after we won the Cowboys' 6th Super Bowl championship, we kind of scouted the terrain a little bit to see what free agents are out there. And I've already kind of narrowed in on a couple of players who I think during this first wave are going to go after. Now, we need a running back. And I could go through one through the draft, but because of the uncertainty, I'm going to throw some money at some different guys. First of all, Nick Chubb is the top running back that's available in free agency. He's a 92 overall, but he really doesn't fit our scheme. And honestly, I only have $41 million to work with, which really, when I start throwing money at maybe 1 or 2 free agents, really isn't a whole lot to work with. So we may be more in the ballpark for somebody like Elijah Mitchell. I'm going to see about this neutral deal, this 3-year deal, $2.8 million. See if he bites on this. See if this puts us in the running for him. It does. It only ate up $6 million. If for some reason we can't get Elijah Mitchell, A.J. Dillon, I think would be a decent backup plan. Khalil Herbert at the absolute last possible option, or Chuba Hubbard. But we do need help at running back. And listen, Elijah Mitchell is not a whole lot better than Zeke, but he fits our scheme, and he's an 80 overall. So I think that's definitely worth it. Now, Zach Martin retired, so we need help at right guard. The highest rated guy is Brandon Sheriff, but I'm going to go ahead and throw an offer his way. It's a 1-year deal, $4.6 million. Let's see if that helps us out. That did eat up, a lot of the cap space. If we don't get him, then we may just look to target that through the draft. Now, other positions I'm interested in are receiver, but not a top receiver. I'm talking about a guy that I can look at to be our 3rd receiver. And Tutu Atwell at 77 overall. He's only 25. I think could be a decent offer. And I'm actually going to go with a team-friendly deal and see if he takes that, because I don't really know how many teams are really begging for his services. Yeah, we're his only offer. And usually if we're a player's only offer, most of the time he's going to go ahead and take it. We need help at corner. We have 2 really good corners. We got Trayvon Diggs and we got Deron Bland. Those guys are going to be here for a little while. But I could use some help at corner. And I'm looking at a guy in maybe the mid-70s, basically somebody to take kind of the place of Jordan Lewis. I mean, we actually could bring Jordan Lewis back if we really wanted to. But, Shaq Griffin seems like a reasonable guy that we could get. Let's go with a team-friendly deal for 1 year. Just really want him on a 1-year deal. We only have $16.9 million to work with. And Griffin doesn't really have any other offers. And we're looking for, stopgap guy. We can only do 1 more negotiation. We need some help at strong safety in terms of backups, because we're letting Marquise Bell walk. He's actually the top available free agent. But, we're looking for a backup strong safety. Let's see, somebody who's interested and fits the scheme. Jenkins looks like he could. Go lower than that. You know what? Let's actually bring back Jaron Curse, a little bit of a fan favorite. Team-friendly deal, 1 year to be the backup strong safety. Let's bring him back. And we're his only offer, so not surprised. We do need help at backup quarterback, but these are the main targets that I'm going with for the first wave of free agency. These are all of our targets for the first wave. Our top one is Brandon Sheriff, which the Lions and the Bucs are getting for his services. If they come in with a bigger offer than us, I'm okay with letting another team get him, and we could just address right guard in the draft. I don't really want to overspend this offseason because we don't have a whole lot of cap room. Now, Elijah Mitchell, though, we're his only offer. As a matter of fact, since we're his only offer, let me see if I can actually lower this to a team-friendly deal for 2 years. That obviously is going to drop things down in terms of interest, but at the same time, if we're Elijah Mitchell's only offer, then we should be able to get him. We're also putting an offer to Atwell, Shaq Griffin, and also J-Ron Curse. I know it's Shaquille, but I just like saying Shaq to make it easier. So those are our offers for the first wave of free agency. Not going after any of the top guys this first offseason because we don't really have the money to do that. So let's advance to the next stage of free agency and see if we landed any of our targets. So let's see. Did we land anybody? So we're still targeting Elijah Mitchell, and it looks like that we did get Shaquille Griffin. Okay, so that's good. I'm guessing that Brandon Sheriff got a bigger offer. He did. Actually, he went to the Lions instead. So we missed out on him, but you know what? That's okay. So we did so far. So far, we've only signed Shaquille Griffin to be our third corner, and we're still in. Now, Tutu Atwell actually got a better offer from the Bears, so I'm willing to kind of let that slide. But you know what? I still want to get a third receiver, so let me go ahead and go to the receivers again and see if we can get somebody that maybe you might be lower than Tutu Atwell. Who knows? He may decide to sign with us anyway. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let this slide, and let me go back and look at our roster once again and see if we have any other holes that maybe we could patch up when it comes to our roster. Because, you know, like I said, I think, you know, we do need a backup quarterback. We'll probably get a running back in the draft. We'll probably get another tight end in the draft as well. We need a backup center. Of course, we need a new starting right guard. I'm going to let Terrence Steele continue to be our starting right tackle. Defensive line, we're actually okay in terms of depth, but we can always draft somebody to help out with that. We got a decent amount of depth at defensive tackle. We can draft another one. Middle linebacker, we actually could use some help there. I'll take a look and see who's out there. So Griffin is actually rated lower than Booth, so he's going to be our fourth corner. We got Carson. So, yeah. So Griffin comes in and helps give us a little bit of depth at corner, helps us out a little bit. Wanye Thomas, still our backup safety. We'll probably get J-Ron Curse, so we're probably going to land him in terms of bringing him back. So you know what? Let's go and get some kind of cheap offers out there in terms of free agents. We need a backup quarterback, and we also need backup center as well. You know what? Let me check out centers, see who's out here in terms of backups. If we can always draft somebody. Gates, Mason Cole. I want to put in an offer actually for Nick Harris. 1-year deal, just need a stopgap backup center. That's all we're looking for. And we're his only offer, so that probably puts us in good position to land him. What about middle linebackers? Are there any guys that are really good? You know, Bobby Wagner, I think, is somebody that we could bring in and get some veteran presence. He doesn't fit the scheme, but we can definitely use him. So we only have $12 million left now. We're Bobby Wagner's only offer right now. So even though we don't have Dan Quinn anymore because Bobby Wagner would have fit more to be one of his guys, I still think bringing in Bobby is a solid option. It's better than Eric Kendricks. And Levante David, he does fit our scheme, but he's really not interested in coming here. And Bobby Wagner is a veteran middle linebacker that we could use for this defense. So hopefully we can land Wagner. And, yeah, I could go low on him, but I am not going to, mostly because I don't want to risk losing out on him or anything like that. Now, we do need help, of course, at right guard still. So you know what? We're probably going to draft somebody, but I do want to go ahead and get somebody else. There's scheme fit guys here, even if they're rated kind of low. Matt Pryor, let's go ahead and give him a cheap deal, 1-year deal. So we can have some depth on the O-line because I feel like, you know, if we at least have some depth, then we'll be in better shape than if we don't have depth. So Matt Pryor, we're his only offer. He's 6'7" overall. He's 30 years old, so he is a little bit on the older side in terms of free agents, but we're only giving him a 1-year deal anyway. Stopgap guy is all I'm really looking for with him. So that's what I'm going with right there. Other than middle linebacker, I don't really feel like we really have there are some you know, Malik Harrison is probably a little bit better than what we have with – actually not. I think Clark is still at an 80 overall, so that doesn't make me feel too bad. We could use some help at right outside linebacker. LaFau, I think, has developed pretty decently in his first year, and none of these guys really appealed to me. They don't fit the scheme. Khalil Mack is the top right outside linebacker available, but he doesn't fit our scheme. And I know that Bobby Wagner could fall in the same category. But when it comes to middle linebackers, just need that veteran leadership, kind of like with Eric Kendricks, bringing in a guy that's rated a little bit better, even though he's probably only got 1 to 2 more years left in the NFL with Bobby Wagner. But we're bringing him in anyway. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at our targets that we still have. So we got Bobby Wagner. We're still in on Elijah Mitchell. Tutu Atwell, even though more than likely the Bears are going to sign him. If the Bears sign him over us, we'll just look at other receivers and see if we can get somebody who's a little bit lower than Tutu and get somebody on the cheap. We're still in on Jaron Kearse, Matt Pryor, and Nick Harris. All right. So that's our for the second wave of free agency. So let's see if we were able to get any of those guys. All right, did we get anybody? We got Bobby Wagner. Okay, so we finally get Bobby Wagner, even though Dan Quinn's no longer here. But he's going to bring that veteran presence for us. We did get Elijah Mitchell, so we've got our new starting running back. Now, I'm not ruling out drafting a running back in this year's draft, but getting Elijah Mitchell at least will provide some help for our running game for sure. We got Shaq Griffin. We did get Jaron Kearse, so he's coming back for a second stint with Dallas, kind of giving a little of the Zeke treatment, only on a 1-year deal to help with backup. And we got Matt Pryor, and we did sign Nick Harris. So, and it looks like the Tutu Atwell did sign somewhere else, so we're going to go ahead and get so we're still going to go ahead and take a look at other receivers and see what we can get. He did go to the Bears. Michael Thomas is there, but he doesn't fit the scheme, so let me go a little bit lower. Deontay Hardy doesn't look too bad, and Agnew looks pretty solid. Chenault fits our scheme. Josh Reynolds does not. Bo Melton. Robinson, Cedric Wilson, we could bring him back. Nelson Aguilar. Richie James, I think, could be a solid guy to bring in. 1-year deal. Richie James, get some help in here at receiver. We're his only offer, so we should be able to land him without really any issues. All right, let's take a look at quarterbacks because I want to get a backup quarterback in here. It looks like one of the top guys, Mac Jones, is going to the Raiders. They probably got quarterback situations. We could bring in Sam Darnold as our backup, but we're going to probably have to pay a little bit more for that, so I don't really want to go with that route. Mason Rudolph, we could bring in Derek Carr as a backup, or Aiden O'Connell, some former Raiders QBs. Drew Lock, we got Mike White. Mike White's pretty intriguing. He was once a Cowboy a long time ago. He's put in, more starting reps with but you know what? I want a backup quarterback that's higher than like a 68 or it really doesn't matter too much. I think Jake Browning might be a good idea. Let's go with a 2-year team-friendly deal for Jake Browning. He is he's in the 60s, he's 69, but still we need a backup quarterback. We need some help, and he also fits our scheme. So I want to get a scheme fit quarterback to help out. So that's our only target for this final wave actually, no, it's not. So for the last wave of free agency, we're targeting some backups. Our backup option for receiver help is Richie James, and we also got an offer in on Jake Browning. These are low offers, so hopefully we get both of these guys. I'm pretty confident that we will. So we'll get these guys, and then we can move on to the draft and patch up some more holes. So and it looks like that the big headlines, Nick Chubb went to the Tennessee Titans. So that's pretty intriguing. The fact they still have Tony Pollard, but they're also bringing in Nick Chubb. So the Titans must be going for broke in terms of trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, Will Levis, I think, is still their quarterback, but who knows if those big moves are going to pay in. Dan Snyder did that in 2000. It didn't really work out very well. Okay, so did we land the rest of those guys that we wanted? We did get Richie James. And we did get Jake Browning to be our backup quarterback. So even though we didn't have a whole lot to spend, but then again, we saved some money this offseason by not really bringing back everybody. Recap of free agency in the first offseason. We got Bobby Wagner, Elijah Mitchell, Shaquille Griffin, Richie James, Jaron Kearse, Jake Browning, Matt Pryor, and Nick Harris. That is our free agency haul for the first offseason. honestly, was able to be a little bit more productive than I thought I was going to be during the first off season in terms of free agents that I could bring back. But hey, it works out in the end. I'm going to change some of these jersey numbers, though. So Elijah Mitchell actually listed here as a 7 overall, so it's similar to Zeke, but he fits our scheme, and I think there's more upside. So I'm going to see if I can change Elijah Mitchell's number. He used to wear 25, so maybe I can give him something in the 20s. Maybe, let me see. Did Elijah Mitchell have a different number, maybe in college or something? Well, he's played with the 49ers for the most part. Okay, well, it looks like at Louisiana, and it looks like he wore number 15. So maybe I can give him 15. Well, no, that's being worn by Jake Browning. So I'm going to go with 24 for him for right now as his number. Kind of like Marion Barber's old number. Jake Browning, let's go. Let's give him maybe. What number did he wear? Maybe in college. Jake Browning. What numbers has he worn throughout his career? So he's worn mostly number 6. Looks like with the Vikings he used to wear number 3. Okay, he actually wore number 3 with Washington. It's right in school. Let's see if we can give him number 3. Yeah, we can. Okay, so we can give him his old college number. Jake Browning, our backup, is going to rock number. And Elijah, we're going to go ahead and give him his old college number 15, just like Zeke wore last season. Looking good. His old college number. Our new starting running back. We are going to look to draft a running back and maybe somebody that could be, better than Elijah. But we'll see. Richie James, we'll keep him wearing number 80. So our receiving core is looking a little bit better. It's young, but we got CD at the top, and we got Jalen Tolbert, who's starting to develop. He's up to an 80 overall, and bringing in Richie James that helps with that third receiver position. Tight end, I'm not ruling out of the draft. We got a backup center in Nick Harris now. Matt Pryor right now is listed as the starter for right guard, but we're still going to be looking at that in the draft. Because rocking with a 67 overall guy, not a big fan of that. So let's see. We got defense tackles looking pretty good. We got an 80. Bobby Wagner. Let's see. I know Bobby, of course, wore 54, but that's worn by Sam Williams. But can I give him a number in the 50s? Maybe. I think he used to wear 45 with the Rams. I think he did, so I think Bobby Wagner, did he wear 55 with the Rams? I thought he did. Bobby Wagner. All right, so with the Rams, he did wear 45. His main number is just like reversed. He can't wear 54 because that's Sam Williams' number, so we're going to have Bobby Wagner wearing 45. We got Foul. We're going to keep him where he is. If there's a right outside linebacker that I think is pretty good, we'll look to draft that. We got Bland, we got Booth. Griffin, he can still wear 21. I think that's perfectly okay. Thomas, Jaron Curse, we're going to give him maybe number 27. I think that number's available because he used to wear 27 when he first came to Dallas. He wore number 1 during his last season here, but we're wearing 27. All right, so I think we got kind of our numbers situated in terms of that, so that way whoever we draft will be determined about that. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the mock draft and see what things are looking like in terms of like what they expect us to do. If we can see that, can we look at mock draft stuff, scouting, private workouts? Okay, scout college players. So let me see if they have do they have mock drafts here to look at? Okay. So we haven't looked at this. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't able to export any authentic draft classes for this year. Hopefully, I can do that in future rebuilds that I do because that's what made rebuilds fun for me in the last Madden is because you could have real rookies in the draft class, and that made the game more authentic. So the top projected pick is Alex Drayton, a wide receiver from Oklahoma State. The first quarterback projected to go to the board is Philip Sherman out of Stanford. I guess Andrew Luck 2.0. We are picking, of course, last in the first round at 32. Excuse me. Actually, no. We have the 26th pick, and we're projected to go with Keegan Sanborn, cornerback out of Texas Tech. All right, so fake corner, but still Texas Tech. Shout out to him. But I mean, we don't really need a corner. I mean, we need a right guard. We need an offensive lineman. Are there any guards that are projected to go earlier in the draft? There are not. So maybe second round may be the better option to go with the guard for a possible future starter. If Sanborn is the best player available, hopefully he's not a can't miss, and we'll take him. Or maybe Jamie Logan. There's some free safeties. There's some safeties that are projected to be pretty good, and we could use depth there. This middle linebacker, Chamberlain, looks pretty solid, but the Jaguars are projected to take him. But we just signed Bobby Wagner. I mean, Wagner won't be here forever. We probably will draft a middle linebacker. But if Keegan Sanborn is the best guy available, we'll probably just go BPA for the draft. It looks like there's not any offensive linemen or right guards that are overpowered. So we'll probably just wait till maybe the second round to go with the offensive lineman. Let me take a look at the free agency recap to see who went to top places. So Nick Chubb went to the Titans. Chadarius Ward went to the Bucks. Justin Simmons actually went to the Commanders, so we're going to be seeing him twice a year. Khalil Mack, he's going back to the Raiders. All right. So the Raiders get Khalil Mack back. Keenan Allen is going to the Commanders, so the Commanders looks like they're making some big moves to try to, one-hop us in the division. But they got Keenan Allen. Amari Cooper is going to the Lions. Levante David is going to the Cardinals. Stonehouse to the Bucks. Ryan Kelly to the Bears. Matthew Judon is going to be a Bronco. Of course, Shrefu we put in an offer for. He's going to the Lions. And some of these guys are still available. Marquise Bell actually is still available. He hasn't been signed yet. Interesting. I would think he'd be picked up by now. I don't think we'll put in an offer for him, but, still. So Jimmy Ward went to the Panthers. Poyer went to the Vikings. DeAndre Hopkins went to the Raiders. So he's going to be joined up with Devontae Adams. That'll be a dangerous duo. We, of course, got Bobby Wagner. A.J. Dillon did. I'm going to the Bengals. Of course, we got Elijah Mitchell. And Elijah Moore went to the Commanders as well. So the Commanders, it looks like, are pretty busy. But the Giants also got Micah Hyde. And they also got Xavier Howard. All right, so they're putting in some moves. Xavier Woods, former Cowboys, now with Titan, reuniting with Tony Pollard. I assume he's still there. Maybe Tony Pollard is going to be available for a trade because, with them landing Nick Chubb, I can't imagine that Tony Pollard is going to be getting a lot of carries. And I don't know what happened to Spears. I guess he went somewhere else. But, that was a guy we were considering trading for, but decided not to put that offer in, mainly because of just didn't want to do that. So let's go ahead and advance. And next up is the draft. So now it's time to get down to business. Let's start the NFL draft. We'll see.
Every career starts as a dream, a belief that someday you'll join the greats and line up next to them on the same field, in the same league. That dream required incredible sacrifice just to even make it to this point. For the coaches and teams of this league, they dream of the right player that changes everything for their franchise. Tonight, those dreams collide. Welcome to Madden's NFL Draft.
Now that is the presentation overhaul that I've been excited to see because this draft overhaul is going to look really, really cool. Okay, so obviously they've already gone ahead and skipped to our pick. All right, so let's make our selection. We actually do have the last pick of the draft in the first round. The best guy available is this free safety, James Stovall. Andrews is available too, so we don't have any offensive linemen that are available. Then again, Malik Hooker may not be here too much longer. So let's go with BPA. Let's go with James Stovall, free safety of Ohio State. First draft pick in franchise history. Let's draft Stovall. Welcome to the Cowboys. Good pick. was ranked as the number 39 in true value, and you drafted him at number 32 scouting report. Can be trusted with a variety of zone coverage concepts, shows good technique on wrap-up tackles, not a burner, but decent speed. All right. Well, he's ours now. That's our pick. And we are here in the second round with pick number 32, so we got to find, I feel like we got to, I don't want to reach. What about like right guards? Like, what are they ranked? Like, so he's like 151. He's projected to be, all these guys are projected to be like day 3 selections. Well, we'll do the roundabout and grab a Burton, I guess, later in terms of that. A lot of safeties are available, but you know what? We do need some help at tight end, so let's go with Steve Middleton out of Georgia. Hopefully, he's got a little bit of a Brock Bowers in him. A stud finder. Okay, so we got a trophy for this. Good pick. Number 27 in true value. You draft him at number 64. Okay. Scouting report, didn't drop a pass at the combine. Excellent speed for a tight end. Unbothered by defenders when catching passes. So I like this presentation overhaul that they give you some notes after you draft the player that you can determine, hey, if you made the right selection or not. Let's, we're in the third round here. What about the right guard? So, of course, Burton is still there. It's gonna be a reach. Maybe he'll be there in the 4th round. Got a lot of corners that are available too. But you know what? Let's get some defensive line help. We're gonna go with Darius Fletcher out of Rice. Maybe a reach. Let's do that. Darius Fletcher was ranked. Okay, so this was a little bit of a reach. Getting stronger is a must. Can be invisible in run game at times. Finesse moves need work. Okay. Well, this draft didn't really seem overpowered for the defensive line anyway. Okay, so this is where we're drafting the right guard. Burton is there. Actually, he's gone, so we should have drafted him earlier. But all these guys are potential undrafted free agents. Okay, let's look at left guard. No, these guys are still rated pretty low, too. Jeez. All right. A lot of corners that are top. Benjamin Jones. Well, I don't think it's a problem getting help at corner. These guys were projected to go in the 2nd and 3rd round. I'm going to go with Benjamin Jones out of Boise State. Okay, plays with good football IQ and recognition, fast enough, decent man coverage skills. Sounds like a project. We'll develop him and, get some help at corner, even though we did sign a corner this offseason. We could use some linebacker help. This guy, Dub McIntyre out of UCF, looks pretty good. Let's go with him. So this was a pretty low pick. Average speed, shows good instincts, doesn't possess threatening power moves. So he's a project. We're in the 6th round. I guess 7th round is where we're just going to have to go with the linemen. And no offensive linemen are ranked decently except for this left tackle. You know what? We just need some offensive line help. Let's go with Wayne Gentry out of UCLA, a left tackle. We don't really need a left tackle, but hey, we can always kick him over to the right side, and it says bad pick. And that is it for the draft. And we actually didn't go with the right guard like I was really hoping for in this draft. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at our roster. So I think that what we're going to have to do is we're going to sign a 3rd-string quarterback. What's the rookie looking like? Oh, we didn't draft a receiver. I forgot. I thought we drafted a receiver for a second. We did get drafted tight end. Stevie Middleton. 74 overall. Okay, not bad. He's already better than Schoonmaker in terms of rankings. Rookie out of Georgia. He's got the day 1 starter tag, so hopefully we found a stud. And then again, the stud finder thing popped up, so hopefully Middleton will be a good tight end for us. Left tackle-wise, we drafted Wayne Gentry. He's a 63 overall left tackle, so that was a reach. Left guards, centers, of course, we signed Nick Harris. We're going to make a trade for a right guard, or maybe see who's out there still in free agency. Because after the draft, sometimes there's guys that are available that are diamonds in the rough. Darius Fletcher, 66 overall left in. We drafted. He was kind of, one of the best players on the board, so I figured might as well go with him. Sam Williams says he's still hurt, but hopefully he'll recover from the ACL injury and be ready to go. We may have to kick one of these guys. Let me actually change Fehoko to a right end, just because so we can have a little bit more even depth on that side of the line. Just work with that there. So we get some more balance on that side. Fehoko, his overall didn't really go up, but he is still below Sam Williams. Defensive tackles, kind of like what we got there. Doug McIntyre, 63 overall, left outside linebacker. He's got some development that he'll have to go through for sure. Clark is still solid. We still have Willie Harvey, but still got some work to do there. We didn't draft a middle linebacker, so these are the guys that we're going with. LaFau, we got Bland, we got Booth, and where's that corner we drafted? Oh, Benjamin Jones, there he is. 71 overall to start out with. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That's a little bit better than I thought. Still probably going to be a year or two before he really gets a lot of playing time. James Stovall was our first-round pick out of Ohio State, and Hooker is only probably going to be here for maybe 1 to 2 more years. So Stovall, hopefully he'll develop and he'll be that future starter for us. And we got Curtis Wilson, we got kicker and punter, so we're good there. Okay, now we still need to make some off-season moves, and basically it's kind of just going to free agency and seeing if we can pick up some of the guys that haven't been picked up yet. There may be some guys out there that we can get that aren't very expensive. So let's go ahead and go to free agency and let's get some help. I want to see, are there any free agents out there, maybe at guard, that are pretty solid, maybe left or right guard? Doesn't look like anybody solids out here. Okay, I actually stand corrected. Daniel Brunskill and Mark Lewinsky. These guys are rated better than who we saw. So we're going to assign Daniel Brunskill at right guard because he's probably going to just be our day one starter for the season because we weren't able to get a whole lot of help. Okay, so we need a third-string quarterback. Let's sign Stetson Bennett, third-string quarterback. We do need another running back, and Chuba Hubbard is actually surprisingly still available. But we got Elijah Mitchell this offseason too, so let's bring in Kenneth Gainwell, the former Eagle. Get a third running back in here. What other positions maybe do we need some more depth at? Left outside linebackers maybe. We could use some depth at really all the linebacker spots. Randy Gregory is out there. So is Jabril Cox. Quan Alexander, 72 overall, is not that bad of an option. What about right outside linebackers? These guys aren't really ranked better than LaFau, so let's see that. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty good in terms of free agents that used to help us out. Let's take a look at our roster, and let's kind of see what things are looking like now. So we brought in Stetson Bennett. We're not letting him wear number 8. That's Troy Aikman's jersey. You don't get to wear that number, sir. Change his number to 13 isn't available, so we're going to have Bennett rock number 19. And Kenneth Gainwell is now our second running back now. Both these guys fit our scheme, so they're pretty young. Mitchell is going to be our starter. Gainwell is going to be the backup, and we still have Deuce Vaughn here, who actually is wearing number 31. Can I change it back to 42, like he was wearing before? He was on the practice squad, so sometimes when a guy is on the practice squad and they come back and you bring them back for the next season, their number changes. So you have to adjust that. I'm really surprised Deuce Vaughn didn't get picked up off of our practice squad, but he's our third running back now. So yeah. And is Hunter Lipke hurt? I got to look at the injury report and see what's going on there, because that may mean we got to go get a fullback. I don't really want to bring in another receiver for depth reasons or anything like that, or just somebody for camp. I don't really want to do that. Okay, so Daniel Brunskill is now 31 years old, starting right guard for this season, 74 overall. Is that underwhelming? Yes. Maybe we can make a trade for a right guard, but I'm not really too optimistic. And Terrence Steele actually has regressed to a 77 overall. So our offensive line, I'm not going to say it's a shell of itself, but it definitely is lacking what we've had in recent memory. Nealon and Fletcher, Williams Fahoko, Odigizua, Mozzie Smith, Goldstein, Justin Rogers. All right. Well, we've adjusted some of the numbers with some extra free agents we brought in off the scrap heap. So I think that's going to do it. Let's see about this new message. Great season. Okay. Let me actually go to the trade block and see if there's maybe a right guard out there who is pretty solid. Somebody on the block is pretty good. None of these guys are really good. Yeah, none of them are really good. Let me check running backs real quick. David Montgomery is on the trade block. Ooh. Oh man. Spears is once again on the trade block. David Montgomery does fit our scheme. He has 1 year left on his contract, though. I don't know. But you know what? I think we need to bring in. You know what? No, we traded. We signed Elijah Mitchell this offseason to be our starter. He's going to be our starting running back. That may be still lacking a little bit in certain ways, but I think with the way that I have this roster, there's not a huge drop off from last year's team that won it all to this year. Sure, we had some holes that we had to patch with some veterans and things like that, but hopefully we'll still be solid looking and we'll be perfectly fine. Okay, well, like I said this is going to be a short live stream, and that is going to do it for this live stream, the off-season. Next video, we're going to do preseason of 2025. We'll get into it. We'll see some of the rookies play, and we'll see how we do with year 2 of the Cowboys franchise. Probably going to bring that video to you guys next week, and I'm also going to see I'm also going to try to get back into the Texas Tech Dynasty because we're in a bowl game in that. And I want to finish off that season because we had a Heisman Trophy winner at right end. So I want to finish that season off at least and be able to go forward from there. So thank you all for checking out the live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.